The Nigerian film industry has been thrown into mourning following the death of veteran Nollywood actor Fabian Adibe, who passed away in the early hours of Wednesday, August 20th, 2025, at the age of 85. Widely remembered for his powerful role as Ogbuefi in the classic TV adaptation of Things Fall Apart, Adibe's passing is not only the mark of the end of a personal journey, but also closes yet another chapter in Nollywood's golden era. His death, announced in the morning by the film journalist Seun Oloketuyin, has sparked an outpouring of grief across the industry. For those who grew up with the legendary television series Things Fall Apart, the memory of Adibe as Ogbuefi Ozowulu remains unforgettable. But Fabian Adibe's cause of death did not just happen overnight. Behind the scenes, he had fought a long and lonely war with failing illness, a condition that worsened into total blindness in his later years. The story of his blindness was one marked by medical missteps, delays, and heartbreak. It began quietly one day in his Enugu home when he felt a sudden sharp explosion in his eyes. Alarmed, he sought medical help, but the doctors he visited, a young, inexperienced professional, misdiagnosed him with cataracts. He was told to wait 6 months before surgery, and because his sight still seemed stable, he did. Months later, when he sought a second opinion at a larger hospital, the truth revealed itself. He had been suffering from glaucoma all along, and the delay had cost him dearly. By then, his peripheral vision had already been badly damaged. Though medications were prescribed, they were not enough to stop the progression. Within months, his world dimmed until finally, by 2019, he was completely blind. Fabian had lived the last years of his life in blindness, struggling with the debilitating effects of glaucoma that robbed him of his sight in 2019. Before his blindness, before his death, Fabian had lived a life of meaning. He was not the loudest or most flamboyant Nollywood star, but he was deeply respected. Born on December 1st, 1943, from his early days, the stage seemed to call to him. He began acting in primary school, already showing a flair for drama that set him apart. In 1962, as a young man in Enugu, he formed a drama group that quickly became one of the most respected in eastern Nigeria. By 1965, that group had risen to represent Nigeria at the Commonwealth Art Festival in London, where they clinched a major win. Adibe was not just an actor then, he was a leader, directing and shaping production that carried Nigerian culture across borders. 12 years later, he would play another historical role. During Festac 77, the Second World Black and African Festival of Art Culture, he served as art director for Nigerian drama. It was he who built the Lambodo set, a creative feat still remembered by those who witnessed it. The turning point of Adibe's career came in 1985. The Nigerian Television Authority commissioned an ambience television adaptation of Chinenye's Things Fall Apart, and Adibe was cast in the memorable role of Ogbuefi Ozowulu. It was not just a role, it was an introduction. Nigeria saw in him the quietness elder, firm, dignified, and rooted in tradition. He wasn't only acting in the series, he also worked as an act director and cemented his place in the entertainment world. Soon after, in 1993, he featured in Kinjajo of Opobo, his first professional movie role. That same year, he was part of Living in Bondage, the Nollywood classic that would refine Nigerian cinema. Adibe became a household name, playing roles that leaned heavily on his aura of wisdom, the father, the king, the elder statesman, and the principal man who refused to endorse evil schemes. Over the next decades, he featured in more than 300 movies in Nollywood. He even crossed into foreign productions, appearing in Soweto, a moving tale of South Africa's liberation struggle, and Mr. Johnson, a Hollywood film. Beyond the stage, Fabian Adibe was a devoted husband and a father. He married his wife on July 29, 1978, and together they built a family of 6, 2 boys and 2 girls. His wife, a trained teacher from Abia State, had once been an actress herself. She met Adibe at NTA Aba, where they acted alongside each other in play. But after their marriage, she gradually left the spotlight, focusing on raising their children. Their love story lasted 45 years, weathering storms that would have broken lesser unions. In 2023, they celebrated their 45th wedding anniversary, a rare feat in the often divorced world of show business. Despite his towering contribution, Adibe's later years revealed the darker underbelly of Nollywood. In an interview in 2022, he opened up about experiences that left lasting scars. His wife, he recalled, had been sacked from Nollywood in 1997 because of tribalism. It was a painful reminder of how division had begun to creep into an industry that was once celebrated unity. For himself, betrayal came in different form. After years of service, the same marketers and producers who once profited from his talent abandoned him when he went blind. He recalled how a marketer dismissed him outright, saying Nollywood was not a place for carrying around a blind man. The stench of such rejection ran deep, especially from people whose careers had been boosted by his name. Another brutal practice called packaging eventually pushed him out of the industry altogether. The idea was simply but exploitation. Actors would be handed 3 scripts, asking to perform 2 for pay and 1 for free. For a man of Adibe's stature, it was unacceptable. He refused and walked away from Nollywood rather than compromise his principle. In 2019, tragedy struck again. Explosion in his eye left him with vision problem that wasn't over time. Initially misdiagnosed as cataract by an unexperienced doctor, his condition was later revealed to be glaucoma. By the time he sought better medical care, it was too late. His peripheral vision was gone, and he lost his sight completely. Blindness confined him to his Enugu home, but it never silenced his spirit. He kept up with exercise, rising at 3 a.m. daily to keep his body fit. Even when his work went dark, his voice remained vibrant, his feet unshaken. He leaned on his first son, who had followed his footsteps into the industry as a director, and found joy in watching his children flourish. The joy of family and strength of his faith became his anchor. Even as he aged, he never saw himself as defeated. His words, his laughter, and his endurance became lessons in resilience. On the morning of August 20th, 2025, as the rest of Nigerians slept, the veteran actor breathed his last breath. The announcement filtered in the public space through Seun Olokotuye, a film journalist who broke the news on Instagram. Almost immediately, waves of shock rippled through Nollywood. For many, it was not just the passing of an anchor, it was the end of an era. Fabian Adibe belonged to the generation that bridged the gap between theater and Nollywood, between the communal performances of Enugu stages and the commercial realities of Nigerian cinema. Fabian Adibe's life cannot be measured in roles alone. He was a pioneer, one of the first to bring Nigerian stories to global attention. He was an art director who built sets that showcased African creativity. He was an actor who embodied integrity in his character and in his real life. He was a husband of 45 years, a father who raised children into greatness, and a man who bore his affliction with courage. Above all, he was a reminder of what Nollywood could be, a place where talent, discipline, and culture pride converged to tell stories that endure. The death of Fabian Adibe marks the end of one of Nollywood's oldest surviving pillars. At age 85, he had lived long enough to see the industry he helped build transform into a global force. Yet, he also witnessed its flaws: tribalism, exploitation, negligence that tarnished his final years.